Hey guys, so I thought what better way to begin my YouTube channel by doing an introduction entry. Basically saying who I am, and yeah, so I've been watching wrestling for 20 plus years. I have never really fallen out of love with it. Sometimes it's been hard, but I stick with it. It's something I've watched since I was a kid, through now and everything, and it's just kind of why not enjoy it? I take it for what it is, not for what it isn't. I don't, you know, hate on it. I just try to enjoy what I can of it, and I just simply skip the bits I dislike or find boring. Uh, so I'll tell you now my favourite wrestlers through the years and of my life and stuff. I guess the Federation era, as they like to call it, would probably be, if I had to pick three, would be Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, and British Bulldog, with Bret Hart slightly coming in, I think. In that little era there, Hulk Hogan was an idol, as he was to millions, probably Billy, who knows. I loved watching him. The guy he is in real life. Who really cares? I mean, as long as I liked Hulk Hogan, that was it. I didn't care about. I was too young as well to really give a shit about the backstage politics. The Undertaker just has continued right from his debut at Survivor Series '91 with $1 Million Man. He has just continued. Every time you hear the bong, you know, and you don't just know, you feel it even if you're not in the arena. The British Bulldog, I think, will forever go down as one of the kind of underachievers of WWE era. Why he never really got the title, the opportunity to get the title, I don't know. Obviously, drug and steroid issues back in the whole '92 kind of era. Who knows? I mean, who knows how? I'm sure if the internet had been around then everyone, there would be no mysteries anymore. Everyone would know why people were held back. But for one reason or another, he didn't quite get the chance to hold the title. And obviously Bret Hart was awesome, but he was a bit too technical. I mean, which I respect. I love that. But when you're a kid, it's kind of more, you kind of go towards the people who make you feel more. And Bret Hart was obviously more of a doer as opposed to a talker. Through the Attitude Era, my favourite was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I had already known about him from ECW because I watched that quite as much as I could, as much as we could get it in England. And I loved him. He still do. He's one of the guys I always looked up to and always, thought that's kind of, the way he handles himself. He's not really an asshole. He just wears his heart on his sleeve, much like his tattoo on his calf. He just goes out there and just does it, and that's amazing. And I think someone else from the Attitude Era would probably be Shawn Michaels at that time. He put on awesome match after awesome match. Again, much like Hulk Hogan, I ignore the behind the stage thing, because at the end of the day, I took it for what it was. It was Shawn Michaels coming out embodying the arrogant asshole persona, and he did it well. He did it very well. Mick Foley as Mankind was someone I always liked. He was, I don't know, he kind of helped usher in that whole hardcore era into the Attitude Era. And getting chucked off of the Hell in a Cell, at King of the Ring '98. I mean, the match hadn't even started yet, and he already got thrown off the top of the cage. I mean, that that shit was crazy. Even when you watch it back now, it still has that feeling on it. And Mankind was unlike, there was other bruiser kind of people. Mankind, he was, out of shape. He didn't really, he was never going to be known for his technical ability, but he drew you in. The whole entertainment thing, with Mankind, it wasn't so much we're going to see an awesome epic hold for hold match. It was going to be, oh my god, like kind of what's he going to be hit with next? What's he going to be, is he, how far is he going to fall in the next match? But whatever it was, it kept you watching, and that I respect immensely. As a third, I'm going to just throw in the triple tag team of Edge and Christian Dynasty. Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys, for reasons, if you're a wrestling fan, are more than obvious. Their TLC matches nothing more than epic. They push the barriers beyond any other match, I think. I think their matches were probably, to me, they're more interesting than Hell in a Cell, because Hell in a Cell, you always have that same spot. After only, like once Mankind got thrown off the top, it was kind of like okay, someone's been thrown off the top, what can we do now? And obviously Big Boss Man was hung in his WrestleMania 16, I think, match, by The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell. I mean, kind of what more else could you do in a Hell in a Cell except just bash each other, almost pointlessly till you win. But whereas a TLC match, you had people throwing each other off of here, there, everywhere, climbing up a ladder, taking bumps like, from the ladder to the floor outside on the table. I mean, absolute crazy shit was happening, and at a time when tag team had never known this, never really. So I have to say, all those three would definitely make up, because that gave me a lot of. And I'm a tag team fan. I think there's not many better matches than a well-worked tag team match, if they're done right enough. And what backs up my feelings and passion towards the Attitude Era of the tag teams was there were, the New Age Outlaws. I mean, had they have managed to still been around, I think when the Hardys come through, they could have. I don't know why they had to break up when they did. I mean, like, they were a tag team before they joined DX. They could be a tag team afterwards. They didn't really do much of a Road Dogg versus Badass angle, so it just seemed like a wasted opportunity. The Outlaws would have brought in a hell of a lot more interest. But c'est la vie. So of course after the Attitude Era is the John Cena PG era. But yeah, I mean, of this era, I think definitely, I mean, obviously Chris Jericho was part of the Attitude Era, but, and I loved him, from his early wrestling career. I mean, on the internet, I saw him in wrestling in WCW in Mexico, in Japan, in ECW. He was an amazing wrestler, and he still is, entertainer and everything. And so I'd say definitely he's, kind of my favourite Attitude Era wrestler. And I'd have to say Kurt Angle would come second, because again he brought back wrestling, but he had the three eyes, and the way he carried himself was just like, you're a twat, but nobody. He found a way to win, and that was what made him a great heel. After a while, like when he shaved his head, it was a bit like, okay, he wasn't the same heel. He wasn't cheat to win. He was very, I don't know. He just didn't have that same, pull out a victory out of anywhere kind of thing. He went a bit too serious for my feeling. But anyway, and my third and certainly, well, he'd be joint with Chris Jericho, I think, really, is Eddie Guerrero, who, I felt I liked him more because of his demons, and I knew about him in the ECW, WCW, the whole filthy animals, I loved all that, and I thought he, I still think he was an amazing wrestler. Entertainment value, I mean, he came out and just fucking had it, but again, he, towards the end of the Attitude Era, he had the whole Latino heat thing, which was working. It got him over, helped establish him a bit more as more of a, I think it made him become more personable, because you believed his authenticity. You believed that Eddie Guerrero, was obviously from Mexico, so he has that whole Latino vibe and heat and stuff. So yeah, it was good. And yeah, I'd have to say, like, my favourite era of all would probably be the Attitude Era, simply because I came in as my age was, as I was getting older, it coincided with the real, so I got to experience the kind of more kiddie kind of, I guess PG friendly Federation era, which was, then I got, which was, not as PG as it weren't as boring as some of today's wrestling, but it was still kind of believable. But I think that's because I was a kid, so it wasn't, I couldn't, I enjoyed it even more then for what it was. The Attitude Era, I mean, we were getting tits and ass, we were getting Playboy models, we were getting, the divas were basically porn stars pretty much. I mean, it was crazy, you know. And at the ages, you know, from when you start becoming a teen through to adult, and you're getting that type of action on your TV for wrestling, I mean, wow, you know. And it's just ironic that for me and for many people of my generation, we saw all of this tits and ass and everything while we weren't really adult, you know. So it's the right age to appreciate it and obviously, yeah, buy into it. And I'm sure many guys jerked off to many of the matches, and, you know, Trish Stratus and people like that. But yeah, and then it's just funny now that now we're adults, they've gone back to PG, but in a bad way. I mean, you know, they try and be PG, and I just don't know. But you know, other than watching WWE, I've also watched WCW from a young age as well, and Sting, again, a bit cliche, but will always be the embodiment of what I've the positives of WCW. You know, the time when they really had good wrestling. It was two good wrestling shows going head to head, you know, and WCW at that time never tried to really take on the WWE. They understood, right, you know, we're not really going to overtake you, but we're just going to keep concentrating on our shit. We're going to get ourselves legitimized, and that, you know, that's it. If you want to watch that, if you want to watch us, watch us. If you don't, you don't. You know, they kept a steady ship going, and obviously wrestlers going back and forth. But then whole Ted Turner thing, you know, flipped up things, and who knows where we'd be if Ted Turner hadn't interfered. But yeah, so I mean, hope that gives you kind of an insight into yeah, you know, who I like and stuff. I mean, there are some more technical wrestlers I like, and there's reasons why, but I didn't really want to make this entry too long. I just wanted to kind of give like a brief sort of intro, say who I like, you know, just give you a feel and a flavour for what my entries are going to be. And the reason for doing recordings, I guess podcast kind of thing, is it gives me more time to do more than keep messing around with the video and stuff. And I'm also in the process of getting a better video anyway, so I can make better videos when they come. And I also think if you're just listening to me, you don't have to watch me, you know. It's not taking up, you know, even just to be technical, you know, it's not a lot to just listen to to sound. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going to see what happens and see how it goes. But thank you for listening. There will be more entries. I'm going to try and put as many up as I can, and feel free to subscribe, message, endorse me. It's up to you, you know, just hit me back with questions, whatever. And yeah, speak to you soon. Take care.